What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So, you might have watched the Garuda video from the other day and say, wow, that might get nerfed. Well, if you're worried about the acolyte and Demolus one-shotting getting nerfed from her claws, we've got a new weapon for you today, which I've been really enjoying for the Steel Path. It's the Mausolon with Garuda. If you want the one-shot the acolyte, we just showed in that clip right there, this is the video for you. It's going to be Bloody Larva, I guess I'd call it, would be the name of the build. Now, I actually have a long history with this build, and we will go into that, but we're first going to show you how to do this stuff, and what is all being used to go crazy and destroy the Steel Path like they don't even exist. But before we get into it, make sure you're subbed and all that stuff. I appreciate everyone that likes the videos, comments the videos, subs with the videos, and, you know, just is watching them. I really appreciate all the support we've gotten over the years, guys. It really means a lot. So, we are using the newly reworked Garuda with the Mausolon, the best Arcwing gun. Unfortunately, the Corvus Prime, it's just not it, to be honest. So we've got the Mausolon. This comes from, basically, when you build a Necromech or buy a Necromech from the market, you are going to get this bad boy given to you for free, kind of. And it's got a primary shot. It's like a full auto assault rifle with AoE explosions. And it's got an alt-fire shot that just one-shots acolytes, basically, as you saw. So we're going to go over all the stuff here. We're also utilizing the Helminth ability, LARVA, from Nidus. It has a special gimmick with the Mausolon that we will go over, that I've already gone over in previous videos, but we're just going to show it even, because Garuda just, like, it makes it even more crazy, to be honest. So what we're doing here's potentially what you could do. If the enemy somehow survives, this is what you can do. So here's like one shot of the Mausolon with our build. Not too crazy, but then when you group them all up, it makes them just like insta-die pretty much with Larva. So we've got Garuda's passive giving us double damage. We've got Arcane Avenger giving us increased crit chance. And since Arcwing mods are pretty weak, those buffs are not usually buffs that Arcwing guns have. Then we have the secondary shot, just an insta-kill of pretty much everything. That's where you're going to use the one-shot the acolyte if you're using this on the Steel Path. So let's show what we're doing here. There's a couple weird things we're actually going for. But let's first start off with the Garuda build, because this might be the one that is probably the weirdest looking to some people. We'll also get some gameplay on the screen too from the Steel Path. So the Larva, I call it Larva Blood Titan, but I like to just take things an extra step further edginess-wise. You can just call it Bloody Larva if you want to. So what we got here is we got a rank 0 combat discipline. So every kill, we're going to lose 1 health. That's basically all we care about this aura mod for, because that 1 health we lose, basically it's damage, it can trigger Arcane Avenger, giving us that 45% increased additive crit chance. So if our weapon has 0% crit chance, this procs, it's 45% crit chance. There's no like scaling required. It just adds it onto there. So that's really good for weapons that, it's pretty much good for every weapon, to be honest. And we've also got Arcane Grace. This might be a little bit weird to you, but for this playstyle, I'll explain to you why it probably is actually pretty important. So as I showed you, we're losing 1 health every kill to proc our arcanes. We have subsumed off Blood Altar for Larva to get that crazy Mausolon synergy that nukes down enemies. And we're not even utilizing the synergy for the Acolyte, because I don't think they can be affected by Larva. But yeah, we're basically going all in on range here. So we can't heal normally. That's why Arcane Grace is actually going to trigger off of combat discipline as well. So we lose 1 health, 9% chance we get 6% health regeneration per second for 9 seconds. Now, that's also a reason why I ran Umbral Vitality. I know Rolling Guard Umbral Vitality is not usually recommended, but when we're using our health for health for extra crit chance and stuff, I found it a lot more helpful to have an extra little bit of health here. We've got 750 health versus 300 health if we took this off. So you could max it out if you wanted to, but that's going to require another Forma. And this is actually working out really well. So that's the things I had to explain. Also, everything is in range and we have basically no power strength. The enemies honestly die so quickly, and that this doesn't even, the 4 doesn't even matter. We're basically playing Garuda for her passive and her 1 right now. The 1, it's not the best ability, but it gives us a forward-facing shield that cannot be penetrated, and that is useful in certain camping spots. So, everything in the range so we can get Larva radius as huge as possible. Also, you don't want too much duration, because if for some reason, let's just be real here, Larva gets stuck on walls a lot of the time with like an enemy in it. You don't want the duration too long, because your Larva is just going to be out of commission for a while if you don't have super long duration. So I wouldn't recommend too high a duration on this bloody Larva build. But yeah, that's pretty much the Warframe build. Natural talent, I tried to do it without natural talent, to be honest, guys. But I have to run it. I have to. If you don't run natural talent on Garuda, like, I don't know what... I don't know how you do it. It just feels so bad. And I mean, increasing the casting speed of LARVA is also pretty helpful. As you can see, it grabs like the entire area in. With this build, it's a 22.4 meter radius. Now remember that the Helminth version of LARVA is reduced radius compared to the normal version. But remember, Ensnare's not. But Ensnare will not work with what we're doing here because it's like the ragdoll, like enemies stacked on top of each other kind of thing, is what's the synergy with the Mausolon that's going so crazy. So yeah, LARVA's gonna work, but Ensnare's not really gonna work. So let's move on to the next weapon here. We're gonna show. So that's the build again, just everything range, a little bit of a little bit of health just to make that combo discipline a little bit more comfy. Maybe we get shot by an enemy, make it a little more comfy. But we are utilizing rolling guard and the invincibility from her 1 and 4 to be safe. The other weapons don't really matter, but we are going to be using her talons anyway. So we've got primary dexterity here for increased combo duration, and you've got secondary dexterity here for more combo duration. While you are holding the Mausolon heavy arcwing gun, you can actually use your melee. So this is fine. You can use the 12x heavy build that people think might get nerfed while you are actually rocking the Mausolon that is one-shot the Acolyte anyway. So you have your choices of one-shots. You can use this from the previous video, or you can use that. And here's the Mausolon build. Now this is with no Riven. Keep in mind, this is probably the best Arcwing gun. I use it on the Prophet Taker too. And here's the build we used in the footage. So as far as Arcwing gun mods, I don't even remember where you farm these, to be honest. So maybe just kill Arcwing enemies, do some Railjack. I'm sure you'll get them eventually. We've got crit damage, crit chance, and we've got critical focus for while aimed down sights, increased critical chance and critical damage while aiming. This is very helpful for one-shotting and just annihilating the steel path. It's very, very good. Now, something I do want to let you know is when you are running this Mausolon, be careful if you're running a, what is it called? Disruption mission. In disruption missions, we have to pick up the keys and all that. If you pick up a key while you have your heavy Arcwing gun out, it will get rid of your heavy Arcwing gun, and you will pick up the key and have a pistol. So, and then it puts it on cooldown. So if you are doing disruption with this loadout, first off, it's not as good against Demolus. I'm going to be honest. It's not as good against Demolus as it is against Acolytes. You have to be really careful about when you're picking up that key because it potentially could just get rid of your entire playstyle right there. So, yeah. And as far as like the rest of the build, it's corrosive heat because corrosive is good against Acolytes. But you could really change things around here. Charged bullets could probably be combustion rounds. It could be automatic trigger for more fire rate. Now, Mausolon Rivens have really low stats. As you can see right here, this is a dual stat with a negative, and we have 35% fire rate and then 62% crit chance. It's really, this is probably not even worth slotting, honestly. But you could if you wanted to. Like, I guess I could take off Parallax Scope, but then look at that. The crit chance is half of what Parallax Scope is. With just Parallax Scope, our alt fire shot has 100% crit chance flat, so that's really good. It's also an AoE explosion, which is also helpful. 8-meter explosion. And then the primary shot, I think, is like 60%. So if we were to put our Riven on instead of that, it would be like not even 100% crit chance. And I found stacking Parallax Scope crit chance and Mausolon crit chance is not really that good. So that's what I'm running here. It's definitely flexible. I don't think Punch Through is good on this, so maybe don't run Punch Through if you're trying to rock this. Let's get into some Steel Path gameplay, and then we can talk about this loadout. I think I showed everything I wanted to. Oh, I didn't show the Panzer Build. That's actually pretty important because it's the only companion that can actually survive on the Steel Path for like more than a minute. So let's quickly show that. So Panzer Build is the homie. Now, something you might be like, oh, I might run out of ammo for this Mausolon. If you are in a survival mission, the enemies actually drop heavy ammo in the mission, so don't worry about that. If you're manning it and you're killing enough enemies, you will get it back. Sometimes it seems like the earlier waves of enemies don't drop the heavy ammo because they're like weak enemies, I guess, so we get to wait like about 5 minutes, it seems like. I'm not really sure what the mechanics of that are. So we got Viral Quills for spitting up Viral, making enemies take more damage. Link Health, because we're running a health build, we can get a big chunk of extra health. We have a 1600 health cat. Hunter Recovery. So I think this is the one that when your companion attacks, it heals you. So that's pretty good for our big health pool. We've got Tech Assault. So that means it has a 60% chance not to die, and it will become immune to damage for 4 seconds. Medi Pet Kit just for heal over time. Martyr Symbiosis. If I somehow die, the cat will sacrifice itself and be a good little kitty, and then I will be alive instead of it. And then we have the Panzer Devolution. When it dies, it becomes the mini Sentinel that still does viral attacks, and it's really nice. And we got Loot Vacuum, Sharpened Claws to remove enemy armor. and Prime Animal Instinct to see where those enemies are so we can blow them up through the wall. Yeah, that's the Panzer Cat. You need the Panzer Cat pretty much. If you don't have a Panzer Cat, good luck reviving that Smita over and over again. So yeah, about this loadout. It is really fun. It kind of relies on a bit of like a... I'm not sure if it's an intended feature of LARVA / Mausolon. But the funny thing is, if you're not even using the LARVA... I would recommend LARVA because that is the entire crux of this build is LARVA Mausolon. And Garuda's crazy passive. But if you don't, I mean, you can probably make it work with something else. But it will not be as good, to be fair. So let's go over the history of this build. So you might be like, well, this is a really random Helminth combination. Garuda with LARVA. Like, how'd you think of that? Well... this is going to be like multiple years ago. Before the Helminth system even came out, I was messing because I've been a big Garuda fan for multiple years. People might say like, "Oh, you're pretending you're a big fan of Garuda lately because of the helmet thing." Like, you don't understand how wrong you are. Multiple years ago, before the Helminth system came out, I was testing potential Helminth ability choices on Garuda in the simulacrum with some people from the Discord server. And then I'm like, I want to try out LARVA because I wanted to like grab all the enemies in the room, kill them with like a Quelor shot or like an Archoplasmor shot or whatever. I'm like, someone get in here with LARVA. I'm going to test that out. We got into the simulacrum. The person cast LARVA, and then I used my 4 from Garuda. Back then, LARVA would make it basically so your 4 from Garuda, your Seek and Talons, would bug out. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I wanted to use this for Garuda Helminth. What am I going to do? So I did something I probably shouldn't have, but I went to Pablo, the Twitch, or the DE developers live stream. I went there and I said, hey, I'm excited for Garuda with LARVA. Can you bug fix this? And he actually wrote it down on stream and fixed it the next hotfix. So I feel somewhat obligated to make this video because multiple years ago, maybe this bug wouldn't have gotten fixed without me. I mean, of course, it was Pablo doing the work because he is the guy that works there and knows how to code. I'm the guy that knows how to play the video game, I guess. So yeah, this loadout works because of the homie Pablo. He is the best. He really is. But as you can see, this is the Steel Path Grenadier, and there's not even a Bane mod for Arcwing guns, and we're just like destroying everything. So as soon as the Acolyte appears, it's one blast and they're dead. That's the alt fire, of course. Now, you could be using the alt fire a lot more than I am. The alt fire actually doesn't even eat ammo up. It uses the 5 charges. You get 5 charges with the Mausolon, and you release the Death Blast. I'm just basically using the primary shot. I should be using the Death Blast a lot more here, because it hits for multi-million damage. Like, the biggest number I've seen, we can try the Simulacrum real quick. I've seen like 9 million, I think, on like a random corpus. It was a red crit too, so I think we had like an Adarza in our squad or something like that. So this is some heavy artillery, honestly. I wish every Arcwing gun was this good. The Corvus Prime, I've tried it a little bit. Now, to be fair, I haven't tried it that much, so I'll probably give it more of a shot today. I'll be streaming live on Twitch, doing some Profit Taker runs, potentially some what are those other guys called? The Void Storms, maybe, and things of that nature. We might test out the new one, the Corvus. Corvus actually is a weapon, but that's not what we'll be testing today. Although that might be kind of cool with this loadout. So let's do the Mausolon on these Corpus Techs. We're going to get some stacks up. We'll see how big these numbers potentially are. Now remember, I do have an Invigoration, but that is for primary crit chance and hardcore velocity. So nothing involving what we're doing right now. So this is a Corrosive build. Not exactly what you should be rocking against the Corpus. Let's just see the Mega Shot. How much damage are we looking at here? I couldn't even see those numbers, but they're dead, okay? Well, that guy's dead at least. And then you just rinse and repeat. Grab them all. Super shot ready. Super shot gone. Over and over again, guys. Great for survivals. Okay for disruptions as long as you pick up the key as your operator. If you didn't know, you can pick the operator, or you can pick up the key, go in operator form, pick it up, void dash over to the terminal, put it into the key, and then go back to your frame. You still have your Mausolon equipped. No cooldown required. So, hope you guys found the video helpful and fun. It is really fun. I swear, it's super fun. You should try it out. And I'll see you next video. Take it easy. Yeah, videos coming out every day this week. I tried to not miss one, but I missed one. Too bad. Bye.